There's a giallo film where the killer wears a blood-red cloak, follows a century-old curse, and kills exactly 7 times. And somehow nobody's talking about it. Today we are diving into The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. Welcome back to our second video for Giallo January. Today we are diving a little deeper into 1972's The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. This is directed by Emilio Miraglia, and we will be talking about him more near the end of this video. I will give a spoiler alert. I won't be spoiling the whole movie, but there will be portions of the movie spoiled in this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you would like to see any more of me or support the channel any further. Let's talk about The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. This story centers on a family and a really eerie century-old family curse. According to legend, an ancestor known as the Red Queen was murdered by her sister, only to rise years later and kill 7 people, the last being her killer. Now, I was initially worried that this film being called The Red Queen Kills 7 Times, I was a little bit worried that this film would have Alice in Wonderland mythos behind it, and I'm really happy it didn't. I feel like people in movies and directors and people writing really like to overuse the Alice in Wonderland trope. I am looking at you, the Duffer Brothers. I like that this movie had its own mythology and that it had its own contained story about the Red Queen and the Black Queen, and how there's just so much cursed mythology passed down from one generation to another in this family. It feels almost like a gothic horror in the sense that this big property is cursed in a way. And like many other gialli, this film blends psychological suspicion between characters, having the whodunit structure, and let me tell you, once I figured out the mystery, this whole film clicked and everything made sense. And spoiler alert, it wasn't necessarily a curse. Now, the whole time I was watching this movie, the characters are named Kitty and Evelyn, and Kitty is played by Barbara Boucher, and she is absolutely stunning in this movie. She was such a treat to watch. But Evelyn, the character Evelyn, I had just talked about the night Evelyn came out of the grave, and I went into this movie completely blind. So I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm hearing Evelyn and grave repeatedly, and I'm like, the night Evelyn came out of the grave. And funnily enough, this is the same director as The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave, Emilio Miraglia. This is the film that followed Evelyn, so it's just by coincidence that it's the same director, and he ended up putting like the name and grave and all that into this movie as well, and it all clicked to me once I was really in it. It was very cool. This film has incredible styling, a super luscious color palette. It was a treat to watch. It's so high fashion while also having the gothic horror elements that I mentioned. It also has a really, really fun score, a memorable score that almost felt Goblin-esque. This movie was actually shot in Germany, and the German cut of the movie trims 15 minutes off the runtime, so I can only imagine it was like the best parts where you see the fashion and all the bright colors and the saturation. I can only assume it was like the best parts that were cut. But all in all, this film is super stylish. It's a really fun watch. When you watch the girls in the beginning, you learn about the curse, you see the child rivalry, you unfortunately see one of the kids pass away, Evelyn, and you think that Evelyn is haunting from beyond the grave the whole time until you kind of see Kitty get blackmailed. And once that whole storyline kicks in, I was like, I know who the killer is. I know who it is. Rosemary. And the whole gothic horror element, like, it totally isn't elaborated on, which is fine. This is not like a gothic horror. We are in a giallo film. It's just kind of like a background. Like, think of this as having gothic horror elements. And while this may not be like an entirely popular mainstream giallo, it was a really fun watch. It was definitely unique. I'm so happy it had nothing to do with Alice in Wonderland. I highly recommend this one. I would give this a 3.5 out of 5 easily. It was a really great watch. So let me know your thoughts if you've seen this movie. I really do recommend it. It is on Tubi. If you haven't seen my last video, we talk 5 giallo films I don't think you've seen. Evelyn is on the list. And in my next video, it will be episode 3 of the Get Weird podcast, where we are talking all things death spa. So I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Sayonara, Spooky fam.